This is a Temu style mortising jig for the small hand routers. Just arrived from China eventually. Was missing some of the screws on the other side of these, so I've replaced them. The frame here had got a bit of a clonk and wasn't quite at right angles. This big plate here had been bowed, which meant the distance here had come in. This plate moves up and down like this to set the depth at which your mortise hole is from the edge. And these are, I think they're called pillow blocks. They've got beautiful runs of ball bearings inside, and I think these are made for 8mm rod. And if you watch, difficult to say, but there's a tiny little bit of movement in the assembly, and if you measure the rods here, they're 7.8, not 8mm. Here are the sort of end adjusters. The edge, because it's a roll thread, the edge has come down a bit and will damage the aluminium, and so I've just polished off the ends of these and put a little bit of grease in here, because you've got dissimilar metals. You've got aluminium and steel, which will set up little electrolytic currents. I've just undone these, and I'm going to bring these two bars out a bit so they fit beautifully with a bit of grease or graphite there. Generally seems to be quite well made. This is slightly different from some of the models on YouTube, because there are, see, there's two holes there which go with these, and they go in the slot there, so they've upped that from one screw to two screws on each side. When this whole assembly goes back together, I think it's fairly important that between the bottom plate and the top plate, that the distance here is the same both sides. So you could say just put the edge of a square in here and adjust these down, which you can do by hand, I notice. A little bit of Loctite might help. Adjust it down so the two plates are perfectly parallel, which means your router is going to come down in a straight line and not, you know, half a degree to 3 degrees off on one side. I've used Loctite on the reverse. Let me see if I can turn this over without disaster. There we go. I've used Loctite on those because I think they'll be vibrating a lot and probably likely to come undone. And as there is a top plate on top, it'll be very difficult to get to them. Also, I think it might well be worth Loctiting these into there, so you can get the parallel adjustment at the top. These are nylocks at the top, nylon locking nuts. Generally extremely good kit for the incredibly low cost, just putting it together. The other thing I've done is to put washers just under these springs, so the end of the spring doesn't rip into the aluminium every time you alter the adjustment. There's the big handle for controlling the side. I used the vernier, right angle and ruler just to see if everything was correct. I put the bent place in the vise, which wasn't clean enough, or perhaps the best jaws, but you know, I'm not too fussed about that, so I've put some nice imprints into the paint. So that's it. So far I'm immensely impressed with the value for money for this piece of kit. Hope this is of some help. Bye bye.